This is the main page that you'll see when you log into GolfBox, and it gives you an overview of any messages in the system, anything in your club calendar or any news, and it gives you some quick links to, for instance, tee time booking, or report a score if you report for the members, add a news article or add a new member. All these are like quick links in the system. You have the different areas up here, 5 different areas, and the help button we will create a link to wherever Anna's help pages will be, and he will be busy making any help articles in Icelandic that you'll be needing. But right now it will just go into our GolfBox help page, so there will probably be some help pages in there that you can use. Because we are on the test system and we are very busy building integration into the national database with the national ID and getting information from the national database, and we just had a big upload where we created a lot of new things yesterday when I was on the plane. There may be some stuff today that will or will not work. I think they tested it pretty good yesterday, but I have not seen them yet, so if I get an error, just bear with me, it's because we just uploaded it. One thing you cannot do until hopefully next week is you cannot play around with tournaments. As you said, we will not do the tournament training until February, but once we get the connection up and running, there's nothing wrong with you playing around with tournaments. You will just get a message from Anna when you can do it. But for right now, you cannot do it. Good. I'll start in the club tab. The first tab that you see is a few different things. We call it the club tab because it's basically information for the club. It's messages, it's calendar, it's news, it's financials, it's loggers, and most important feature at all in the system, it's the rights system. It's the place where you as an admin give any other users rights to help you in the system. It can be your staff, it can be volunteers, it can be anyone that needs rights to do a tournament, to do scoring, report scores for handicap. Anything they need rights for, they do in the rights module. So I'll start with that one. It's the most important one. And as an admin, as a main admin, you have to think about who you give rights to and what rights do they have. Don't just give them rights for everything, because if you don't want them to do tea time bookings, don't give them rights to tea time bookings and so forth. There's already an admin, we call him, that has rights for everything. He's the main admin. He's the one that you will get access to, both now on the test system, but also when we go live on February 3rd. You will have a user with just rights, with one user with rights to everything that you will start with logging into. What we normally do and tell all the administrators is only use this one if you have someone that is not already in your system as a member. So if you're already yourself in the system as your member, you just find yourself and give yourself rights, and then you just have one login. So you have a login as an admin, and you can change to be a player with the same login. That means you don't have to remember 2 logins. So we always advise to do that. In the rights, there's a lot of different things that we can put rights on. Some of these may disappear, some may be added, depending on what modules we add to the system. There is three rights that says read only, and when they have that, they can't change anything. They can only read, and all the way at the bottom of the rights is the most important one at all. It's the rights to give other people rights. One person should at least have that, but I'd say maybe 2 or maybe 3 people should have that rights, but not 10, because this is the one that can give anyone rights to use the system as an administrator. So the secretary, so the chairman of the board maybe, or whoever is in charge should have this rights, but the guy who's just doing a tournament should not have the rights for giving out rights. And they can have everything else, but this one you really have to think about. I won't go through all of them today because it will take a while to do that. The first point under the club is called club info, and we have some main data. This is just information about the club. It could be information about where to find it, the address information, web page, phone numbers, office numbers, other information that can be entered in here. You do not have to do this. It will be displayed on the Golf IS webpage in the golf guide that is going to be built there. So any right information is of course good to update, and don't have to do it on the test system necessarily, but on the live system, if there's anything that's wrong in there, go in and change it. Information about the club. If you want to have information about your fees for the club guide, you can put that in here. Contact persons, who's the chairman, maybe business manager, secretary, phone number for the pro shop. Again, it's displayed on the golf guide that will be on the golf.is page once it gets updated. And course information, it will be taken from the golf course once we get that up and running. There's an area called financials. This is just where we choose if we have financial integration. Currently there's no DK.is integration, but we're working together with them to build it. We just need to figure out what format we're going to build it in. So I will be talking to someone later today about how would be a good way to build the integration. And that of course will be chosen in here. And the last one is just it's actually a place that shows you, or actually it shows the players what modules do you have in GolfBox and what impact does that have on GDPR. Is it called that in Icelandic? Personavern. So this here is something you can implement on your web page. So it will automatically, if you get a new module in GolfBox, it will automatically update your thing on the web page. Just some information for you to look through. There's not much to be done in here, but once you get on the live system, you look through those things here, and you may want to implement the Personavern on the web page. The calendar function is a calendar in GolfBox function. It's an opportunity to have all the information about what's going on at the golf club, just right in front of the player when he logs into GolfBox, because it will have its own little area, the calendar area. You can use it or not. It's really up to how you communicate with the web page, with the members. If you already have a calendar on your web page, you may not want to do it double. But if you don't have one on your web page, this is a great area to have anything from rules education to wine tasting to handicap seminar, especially with the new World Handicap coming up. You can have all your calendar in here with all your events for the clubs. And it's a simple thing to create. You add a new, you give it a name. It could be Greenkeepers wine tasting. So they actually have a wine tasting down by the greenkeeper's corner because they want to show them that they're nice people and that you shouldn't hit the ball when they're out on the course. Information about where it is. It could be in the greenkeeper's lounge or in the clubhouse. Some different types. It could be a club meeting. It could be a meeting for the board. If you want to put in information for the players, there's a board meeting on every fourth Thursday, so forth. It could be a course repair on this day. We are repairing the course. Could be a pro event. It could be something in the restaurant, or it could be something else. And you put in some content. Great wine to be tasted. And down here we have something. It says applies to. This shows. This is where you choose who will actually see this calendar. I have been talking to Anna in Denmark and Norway. We use groups a lot to categorize our players. So we put the members in a junior group, a senior group, a super senior group, a child group, any type of group that will indicate what they're paying to be in the member, or what kind of member they are. Maybe there's a VIP group, maybe there's a green fee group, and so forth. Maybe there's a weekday group, members that only play during the weekdays. And all these groups can be chosen for calendar. So if you have an event that are just for super seniors, you may not want to show it for everyone else, and you just choose the group super seniors. But this one here is for everyone. So I'll just choose the group club members. And everyone that logs into GolfBox as a club member will be able to see that now. Okay, Greenkeeper House. Oh. So this is something I will see right away when I log into GolfBox as a player. It's not something you have to use, it's just an option that's there. The message system is an in-GolfBox message system that for you will be mostly used for two things. When we build something new in GolfBox, we'll have to agree with Anna how we send this out. Normally what we do is we send out a message in GolfBox in English. We may talk to Anna about that. We'll just tell him what we made and he'll send it out in Icelandic. And if he's on holiday, maybe we'll send it out in English to let you know, and then he can send it out when he's back. But you will get messages from us about new things, maybe, depending on what we agree. And you will also get a message because we have interaction with the national database. We found out that when we synchronize the data, we will actually be told if a member has passed away. So we agreed with Anna, if we get this message in the synchronization, we will delete the member, but we will send a message to the admins with rights to creating members that the member has passed away and has been set as a former member. I hope that's a good solution for you. I think we agreed the synchronization will be once a month. Automatic synchronization will be once a month, where we will update all the members if they change the address or if they change their name, gender. You never know these days. So all this information will automatically be updated, and you will also have the option, if you know someone has moved, to go into this member and click synchronize and get the new data, new data from the National Register. But on a few things, the National Registry is the master for data like address, name, birth date, everything that we get from there. You will not be able to change in the system. It will have to be changed in the National Registry, and then you will get the updates. You can use this message system to send messages to all the players. We also have a mailing system that sends emails out. This system here is an internal GolfBox message system. It does not send out any emails. So they will not see these messages until they log on to GolfBox. It is possible to get an email saying there is a message in GolfBox, but it will not show you the message. So that's something I can set up. I can choose to get an email if I get a message. So I would probably not use this for internal communication. I would use our mailing system where we can send out emails. But it's like an email system. You find the players you can play. You can use the groups again, or you can send out a message to one player. And I'm very friendly with this guy. because he had an easy number that I can remember. So I'll be using him a lot. I don't know if he's here, but he's going to be used for a lot of things. So it's just a subject, a text, and then you send it, and they will receive the mail in GolfBox, or the message. We also have a news option, and it's pretty much the same as the calendar, except it has one thing. When you create a news, you choose when does this news start and when does it end, and you can say showing club info. And for the players, and I will show you this later, there's a big yellow box on the player module, like a warning sign. And if this one is ticked off, the news will be in this box they will see when they are on the web for as a player. So something like we are poking holes on the fairways or the greens, something information that they would like to see when they go into the systems. Those news would be good to have in there. But it could also just be news that our team won the national championship, or the juniors can now use the driving range for free. All those kinds of news that are club related. And again, it's the same thing. You choose who is this, who are these news visible for. If it's Black Friday for women in the pro shop sale, the men may need to see that. It's probably a good idea. But maybe it's something that's just for women to see. You just choose women, and the men will never see that news. There's a financials area, and I will not really go into that today. It will not be until next time I will go into that. Because the way you do it right now, you invoice the ones that has integration with DKIS, they invoice everything from DK. We have the options of creating the data to be sent to the invoicing system from GolfBox, and in Denmark they use 2 or 3 different invoicing systems. I think here you're just going to be using one, DKIS. But you create everything if you have your categories in GolfBox with the juniors, the seniors, the weekend green fee players, or whatever they're called. You create these groups, and I will get back to that later. You create all that in GolfBox, and then you go into the financial system saying, for this group, it will cost, what's a senior membership? 50,000. Cheap? 100,000. I don't know the currency, so I'm a little pressured there. And you will again use these groups to say who will be invoiced. Just the juniors, maybe it's just 10,000, because that's very cheap. And we can create an export file, either to send to DK or to send to another way of invoicing the system. It's a session, I think, for itself, so we'll wait with that till later. We have a locker system in GolfBox, and a way to administer lockers. If you have a lot of lockers for bags and stuff like that, then you can set it up in the system where you can have different locker types. You can have maybe a double locker on the ground, maybe a single locker on top, all different kinds of types that you can rent out for the players. And once you create a locker type, it will create a group. So no matter how many members you have in the lockers, you will be able to invoice all the members that has this locker type directly from the financial system. And you can set up ranges. Maybe you have 100 of these double lockers on the ground, and you can say it's 1 to 100, or maybe it's just the even numbers. So 2, 4, 6, 8 is the one we have of double locker ground in there. So by creating a locker type, I now have I now also created a group that the member that you can use to communicate. Maybe every winter they have to clean out the lockers so you don't have old food in there. Or I know in Denmark they have a lot of problems with people not emptying their bags, so they will have a sandwich or something in there, and there's no way to avoid rats when you forget that. So they use the locker types groups to send out messages. Remember to go in and clean out your locker, or we will do it for you. So that can be done in there. And when you have these lockers, you will have one day I'll remember to do it. So you have your locker types. You can if you have almost all your lockers rented out, you may just want to say what's available, what's free, what hasn't been rented out. Maybe you just have 5 lockers left, and you can choose some simple ways to search for that. Otherwise, you'll simply just go in and add a member to the locker, and they will now be on the locker as their owners. If they have some agreement, maybe they're sponsors and they don't have to pay for the locker, you can say this is a free locker, and they will be on the list, they will be in the group, but if you do the financials, they will not be invoiced because they have a free locker. Good. So the most important one, I'll just come back to that one. The rights system is where you can go in and give any players rights in the system. Search by member number. I already gave my friend rights for everything in the system. So he got rights almost for everything that I wanted to give him rights to, and he can now help out in the club admin, do everything that you need him to do. You need that one. And when he logs in, he will be logged in as an administrator, but he will have the option of switching over to the player just if he wants to book a tea time or wants to record a score for him as a player. So this is what I recommend that you do if you already have a membership in the club that you work in. Give yourself rights and not use the admins. And you can share it. You can be 20 people on the same login. It's just better if you have your own login, and by using your membership, you can just have one login for both. See, that was everything in the first column. It's quite easy, right? No? Of course, the place you'll be working most in will be members and resources for the ones who has tea time booking. Resources is pretty much everything that has to do with tea time booking. It will be covered tomorrow, but there's some information about courses in resources as well. So we will come in here and have a look at courses, and tomorrow we'll come back and look at tea time booking. But under members, there's quite a few more options in here. Some of them may disappear when we go live. Some of them may be added, but most of them will stay in here. The one thing that always happens when you click on member search is that you'll go into, or members, you'll go into the search area. Simply because we assume that you want to work something with a member. Maybe they called and said they wanted to change their membership, so you need to go in and change whatever membership they have. So you can always go in here and search member number. You can search on national ID. In this place here, there are some places you have to know all 10 digits, and there are some places you just have to search. When it says national ID, you just have to, for instance, search on a part of a national ID, and it will find everyone with this. So in this case, there's just my friend that has the same birthday as I do. So he's the only one that comes up. If I search for another, anyone from Reykjavik? Birth date, 4 digits. 2811. So a lot of people actually have 2811 in the national ID, 12 players. This page here is just a list of my search result, nothing else. From here I can go in and work on a member. I can do a new search, I can go back. I can, if for some reason I want to change in the groups for all these people I search for, I can make a group change that will happen for all these members. I can send them to the mail system, and I can export them to Excel if I want to do that. If I just go back to the member search, there's a column over here where I can include something. You see there's 4 things that is always included, and we're just seeing this. It doesn't mean anything except these are the 4 things we will always see. But if you know I have to call someone, I don't know his number, then I can add cell phone, and I can say 2811, and it will just give me a view of the cell phones of these I search for. So now I can just, okay, here he is, and I can call him from this view. I can also go in and work with the member. This is the first view of a member, is a profile picture of everything, all the information in the system. We found out some few mistakes we done on the import. We will correct those for the when we get the new data for the before or in the end of January. We will make corrections of the small errors that we found. For instance, we found out that we used the wrong number for member number. So you may have another number in your current system, and we'll correct that, of course, for the live one. So you see all the information in here, but you cannot change anything. It's just information that you see. To change something, we'll go onto clicking on one of the white headlines. And this will take us into the profile where we have all the information. And I'll just quickly run through the profile, because I'll be running through it again when I show you how to create a new member. On the profile page, we have information like where you're from, what your name, and you can see these are gray. Yeah, I can't change these. These are coming from the national database. So to change all this information here, it has to be done in the national registry, and then you can go in and synchronize the member data, and it will be updated there. You are allowed to change the gender, so that's not in the database apparently. You can change the member status. They can be full-time, they can be former members, and this one we should get rid of, right? So you will see 2 things. They can be full-time members, or they can be not a member, former members. Those are the 2 things. And if we switch to this one, you can give a reason for why they're leaving the club. And when you update it, they will be set as former members in the system. We have something called amateur, non-amateur, or professional. I think in Iceland, your professionals also are using handicaps and everything, right? They participate in the national tournament with and are in the system. No? Yes. So this I don't think. I don't know if there's any professionals in there, but if you have a professional and he's marked as an amateur, you should change him to professional. We have something called national playing rights and local playing rights. Those 2 things are ways to limit players to go out in the real world, or at least the Icelandic real world, to play golf. Maybe when you start with golf, you take, in Denmark it's called a green card, or it used to be, now I think they call it golf driving card or driving lesson card or something. But when we do that, we have to pass some tests set up by the club and the pros to be able to play on first our own course and then on the national level on other courses. So in Denmark, when I'm a brand new member that has never played golf before, they will set me as one with no local playing rights and no national playing rights. When I then pass the playing test, I will get local playing rights, and I will be allowed to play and book tee times on the course at home. And once I passed another test, maybe it's a handicap limit that I have to reach. It's different from club to club in Denmark. So the Danish Union will set some rules, but there's no really guide to. They won't set rules. They will give you some guides. That's how it is. So let's say maybe you have a rule saying, well, before they can play in the rest of the country, they have to go down to handicap 40. And once they do that, you can then give them national playing rights, and they can then book tee times in the rest of the country, participate in tournaments in the rest of the country. You can, for a member, go in and change their username. The usernames will, as default, always be IS dash the club number, and I talked to Anna, you don't have a club number in the old system, so we have given all the clubs some numbers in the system. So you will get a list where you can see what number is your club. And then the member number. This number right now will change on the live system, so it will be a fictive number right now. But you can change that as an admin on a member. You can also send an email to the member if he calls you up and say, I can't log into the system, I can't remember my password. You can click on this. He will get an email if there is an email down here with a link that he clicks on, and he can go in and create a new password, and he gets logged into the system. You can change his cell phone and email, and there's something called send a copy of emails to this address. In Denmark, we use it for juniors, where the parents would like to be informed of any information that the juniors get sent an email about. So if this is a child, 57, probably not, but they may have a parent that want to know what they're doing, or a spouse. Then you put in another email address, and it will send out 2 emails. If they book a tee time, if they sign up for a tournament, if the club will send a message to this member, it will send out 2 emails. And the last one, called message, is simply a note field where you can put in all kinds of information about the member. Maybe they made a deal with the previous board about paying twice as much in members, or maybe it's the other way around, half as much. So just a note field for you to put in any information.
Can I ask you one thing? During the implementation, when are they asked, do they get notification? Will they have to just choose, send a copy of emails to this address?
No. This is something they will have to come and tell you. Is there any way that you can also send an email to the parents, or maybe you go home and once you have the new system, you can send a message to the juniors. Do you want a secondary email for your juniors, and you can put it in, but there's no information, okay. And they cannot add it themselves. You can always from the different tabs on a member go back to the complete overview. Don't want to save it. And see the information. Because I did a search just on 4 numbers of a birth date, I still have all the 11, 12 people I found here in the window, so I can switch between the members that I found in my search. I can jump from one. Let's say you're doing a change on 50 members. It's the same change on all of them. You search these 50 members and you do the change. Maybe it's you remove their playing rights or something, whatever. You save it, move to the next one. You do the same thing, move to the next one. So you can always change between the players, and you can go to the back or the front as well. Go back and forth, or you can open the window. And this will stay here until you leave the search or the members that you're working on. So if I click on members, now we are searching all over again. We have the options of inserting relations. If you're a family head, you can have everyone underneath to show the clubs that we have. This is a family with 5 children or something like that. You can search for for an easy way to do it. Is there anyone else with the same address? Or you can, if you know that this member is in the same family, you can search for them by number or by name. Contact information page is imported from the national database, so you cannot change that as well. You have different address types that you can work with, private, work, holiday. Most of them will always just have one address. Some may have a couple. Once you get more than one address, you can choose which address is the mail or invoice. So if you just have one, it will always just be the mail and invoice address. But if you have a private and a work address, maybe the private is the mail address and the work address is the invoice address. So that's what I would do if I could. Yeah. And financials, again, it depends on, really in the financials, we just say who is being invoiced here. Is it the member, or if I'm part of a family, do I invoice the head of the family in the system? But it depends whether this function is available, depends on if the financial system is capable of doing that. And the second to last tab is what we call groups. This is where you can go in and categorize all your members into different categories, whether they're juniors, seniors, weekday members, anything like that. And as far as I understand, you're not using that today in the golf system. So once we get all the data in here, we don't have any of this information in the system. So we'll just have maybe one or 0 groups in here for you once we go live. And of course, it's completely up to you. I will go into more details about the groups because we use them for a lot of things, especially with the tee time booking. So I would definitely recommend you using them if you have a different ways of setting up the tee time booking. And then the last tab is called Various. That just has some different information. If you can see if they have a logger, you will be able to see that in here. You will be able to see if there has been some changes on the member. You won't be able to see exactly what changed, but you'll be able to see what kind of change and what date it was happened on. There's actually an option to upload a picture on the members if you're using that. The players can also do that themselves in the player module. And these pictures will be used or can be used in the tournament module if the tournament organizer wants to do that. Yeah. Back to the member search. There's a lot of different ways to search for. A lot of individual things. If you're searching for a member number, you can search 1-100. It will give you everyone between 1 and 100. If you search 1, 5, 59, it will search on individual numbers. Maybe you have a whole list of random numbers that you need to do something with. You can search for them by comma. And if I just have my mouse over the question mark, you will see the options that you have. So single number, a dash is a range, and comma to search on different numbers. And you can search on a lot of different things, handicap. And if we go down a little further, you can search on to and from. So for instance, you want to send a message to everyone with a low handicap because there's an elite tournament coming up and you want to give them advance notice that they should sign up for this tournament. You can go in and say everyone from handicap 0 to 5. And I want them to be club members. I can then search for them. So more than 119 players in Reykjavik has a handicap below 5, and I could then go directly to the mail system and send out, remember to sign up for the club championship or whatever we want them to sign up for. At the bottom of the search page, there are also the options of searching for groups, and again, these groups I will go into in more details. But we have 3 kinds of groups. We have what we call invoice groups. This is the one we use to define whether, well, basically what category you are in and what green fee type or what membership types do they pay. So maybe you have 3 different junior memberships, maybe you have 3 different senior memberships. You create an invoice groups for all these memberships. Then we have something we call a static group. This could be volunteers that you would like to put in a group so you can communicate with them. It can be maybe beginners 2019, beginners 2020, maybe beginners who has passed the playability test, so you can keep a string on who has done what. You can have all these groups. And then we have something we call dynamic groups. These are groups that you cannot create. The system will automatically put a person into a dynamic group. So a woman will automatically be in the female group. A man will be in the male group, or the men. Playing right, yes. Everyone that has a yes in the local playing right will be in this group. So you can use these for different stuff as well. If you have someone local playing right, no. Why do they have? Why you may want to communicate with them? You should play some more to get your playing right. So all different kinds of dynamic groups. Full-time members, club member is everyone in your system, so you can always communicate with that one. And it's just a different way of searching. And some of the groups you can search across groups, so you have more. So for instance, I would like to find out how many club members do I have that are men, and I'll just hold Control or Command if you use a Mac. Then you now are selected 2 groups. And over here I have some options. I can search for all marked groups. That means the member have to be in both groups. They have to be men and they have to be a club member. If I choose one of the marked groups, then I will take all club members and I will take all men. Wouldn't make much sense in this case. Or I can say who's not a member of this group. So maybe everyone who has a free lock or maybe everyone who has a family representative I can search for. But in this case, how many club members do I have that are men? I could have just used the men as well because it's the same. A little more than 2,200 out of 3,000. Underneath the member search, you have a little setting button. The only thing that does is it gives you an option to choose the complete overview. And I recommend everyone to, when they first log in, go into the member search, choose this complete overview. This is the standard. The tab divided is just the one where you see all 6 of them. There's no difference in working with in how you work with them. I just think the complete overview gives you a better view of the members when you because you have all the details in one window. Member profile is the one I get into when I search for a member. So if I do a search for a member, I will be in the member profile window. I'll just skip report score and go down a little bit, actually all the way down to groups, because I've been talking a lot about that, and I'll just talk a little bit more about it. 3 different types of groups: invoice groups, where you can categorize all your members in here. And right now, we do not get any of this info from so of course for Reykjavik, it will be quite a job to categorize 3,000 plus members into different invoice groups. But I think it will be worth it in the long run to do that. And if you can, who was from Reykjavik? Do you have do you have it in DK, what kind of members they are? So how do you know who pays what today?
We have like categories with age.
Okay. So maybe you can get a list out and with the member numbers and comma in between, and you can use that to search for all your members that are juniors. and you can search that with comma, and once you've done that, you can use the group changes and apply them to, because then you can do it quite quickly.
Related to this, most clubs in Iceland have a fee that is related to what age you are. This is a dynamic group then?
No, this would be a invoice group.
Yeah, but the invoice is what you invoice the member, right? So if you turn 75 in one club, you might go to a lower fee. And the system knows exactly what age you're at. So the invoicing group or invoicing fee that you get might change from one year to another just because you are changing age.
Because you what?
Because you're changing age from 74 to 75.
Yes. Then you have to change it in the system.
You have to change it manually?
Yeah. Yeah. Right now we have something we call change status, but there's not it's not an automatic because there's so many different ways to do it. We haven't built in an automatic way to do it. So.
But could we look upon someone who was born that certain year?
Yes. So what I would do, I would search for age. I would search for either birthday or age. So everyone who's 74 to 75, I would search for, and I can do a group change. So I'll get everyone here, and I can change the invoice group from senior or super senior to super senior. And you change everyone in one go. Invoice groups. The important thing about invoice groups is that a member can only be in one invoice group at a time. So he can only be a junior or a senior or a super senior. He cannot be in 3 invoice groups. If I go to the static groups, they can be in as many as you want them to be in. So it could be and it could be pass playing test. And now this player, a player can be in both of these groups, but it can only still be in the beginner 2019 if I created an invoice group for that. Maybe it's still full time, but they can be in both of these. And at the end here we have the dynamic groups. You can just see them, you can search for them, but you cannot make any changes to invoice groups. You cannot. The only way you can, for instance, make a man come into the female group is by changing the gender. Okay. Adding a new member. In GolfBox we have 4 different ways of giving a member number. And it all starts with a search. So you can give them the first available, which means if number 1 is available, the member will get number 1. You can search next in line, and it will go all the way to the end and give you the last member number. Or if you know you want to have a number between 1,000 and 2,000, you can search in between. And if you know there's a certain number you want to give them, you can search if that's available. So if I want to see if number 10 is available, I can do that. And then I create the number with number 10, a member with number 10. And the first thing we do always is we look for doubles in the system. So is there anyone else? Is he already a member of another club? Then we will search for that. You can search by name, last name, postcode, birth date, member number, or the easiest thing, of course, if you have it, search for the national ID, and then it will find the complete person. Let's see. 2811. What was the last? What year were you born? Oh. And what was your last name? Shit. But I need the last name is the important one.
Then Icelandic.
Oh shit. Oh, it never works, does it?
Can you do a star and then?
No, that would be too many. It's looking for the name, so I can't just add star.
You can use him with Norwegian.
Yeah, so it could be if there's someone that's not in the national database, they won't have a national ID, and then you have to search for them by last name and birth date.
Could you do just the first part, 28, 11, 62?
No. No, it's good. It's good now. You found. So if we have the national ID, that's all you need to find. So he's already here. So we didn't really need him to create him because he's already member of the club. But maybe he gets a second membership, and all we have to do is. So if he's not the one that we're looking for, then I'll say I didn't find him. So I'll search. I'll create another member. If someone is coming from another country that doesn't have a national ID, you would be doing this. You search for him. Is he already in? Search for him by name, and if he's not in another club, you will create him without any information. In this case, we can actually create him now. He will just get 2 memberships of the same club. Actually, he won't be allowed to do that. So we'll just do a member without double information. But if let's say you were not a member of this club, I would have all the information handed to me from the database. So you can see I already get everything. Maybe the handicap for this creation here is wrong, but it doesn't really matter because I can change the home club afterwards. I'll just give him a username. I can put in his cell phone if he doesn't have any. Maybe we don't want my email. Let me put the support in here.
Are there any restrictions on the username?
Huh?
Are there any restrictions on the username?
No. But we recommend you to use the standard username, and then the players can change it to anything else. There is one restriction on the username. If you cannot remove IS and say 7-10 because that username already belongs to a Danish club. So there is one country restriction. And you simply go through the 6 fields of setting up a member. Contact information. Want to say this is a private. He pays for himself in the financials. That's perfect. And he's a member of the full time, and he's a beginner. He had handicap 54. And he wants to receive the club magazine. And now we created a member, so it's fairly simple to create a member. Once we go live, we're finding a way to inform all the players about how to log into GolfBox, because of course it's a new system. They need to know how to do that. So we will form an email that will send out to all the existing members that has an email, of course. We will probably not do that. It will probably be Anna that sends that out, or maybe if we find out it's easier to do from the system, we will send it out. But we will work together with Anna to find out about that. So all information, all existing players will get an email if they have an email in the system about what to do to log in the first time. And we have a login page for this that they will get a link to and everything. So there will be information sent out in February to all the new players, or whatever date we decide after February 3rd. If you want a week to play with the system to set up the courses, tea time booking, before we send out information, then we don't send it out on February 3rd. We make sure that you have time to set up everything before we send it out. It could also be we say we don't want to send it out until February 22nd once we had the tournament training. So it's something we'll communicate with you about.
So if somebody is going from one club to another, or is a member of two clubs, the system now you have to decide which one is the
Home club.
because we pay the fee to the golf union, and also in the system now, if you move from one club to another, you will have your same username.
Yes.
You have to get a new username.
No, you'll have one username. So the players will have, now this one won't have it, but I'll just jump over to the player module. The players will have a switch club here, a button that will say switch to another club. So he can jump from one club to another in the system. So I think it's right here. And it will just say change club, and you click on that and you choose other clubs to go into, and you can go in and you can only record scores in your home club. You can only record scores in your home club. You cannot on your secondary membership where you're not the home club. The players have to change club. Let's say you're a member here and another club, and this is your home club. If I'm logged in as the other club, I will have to switch to my home club to record the score, because for the secondary membership, they don't have anything to do with his handicap. It's only the home club that has that. That's the rules.
Yeah, then there needs to be two members, one member with two logins then.
So you have two different handicaps.
No. Okay, yeah.
That doesn't make sense. You have one home club.
Okay, this is a big topic. We discovered it now, so let's write it down as something.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about it. It's what they do in Norway today as well. You can only have one handicap, and you can only have the home club being in charge of the handicap. So any non-home club cannot do anything to your handicap.
It only has to do with the handicap.
It's only the handicaps.
You can play at all times.
It has nothing to do with, and the handicap is synchronized across all memberships. So yeah, so it has nothing to do with the memberships. It's only handicaps.
But if you then changes clubs, the individual members, how does the club know that it has got a new member?
How does the club know?
So you said the individual member can change clubs.
Yeah, but he can only change if the club has created him as a member. So I can't just go in and say, I want to be a member of this club, so I'll just... No, you have to create him. And you have to do the double search, otherwise there's no connection.
But what's the display? People are sometimes, participating in two clubs, and obviously can only have one handicap.
Yep.
But what's the display of being, for example, a member of two clubs?
It will be the same display. The handicap will show the same thing. So once we... I promised I wasn't going to say the word, but once we switch to the WHS system, the view for the player, no matter what club he's in, will be the same. It will just say your home club is this club, and it will be the same display, because that's just a show of your handicap. But he will not have, for the secondary membership, he will not have a record score button. He will have to change to his home club membership to record the score. Yeah, that has nothing to do with it. It's just the membership where the score is recorded on can only be on the home club. So in Denmark, we don't have this double feature that you have. We have, for each club we're member of, we have membership. And if the club forgets to make the connection to the home club, I could accidentally end up having two home clubs. And we've seen that in a lot of cases in Denmark, where some of the new golfers, mostly, will have 2 memberships for the summer holiday and for their home. And in the summer, they will just record scores because they never told the club, the new club, that they had a real home club somewhere else. So they would be entering handicaps at the holiday place and coming home, then the handicaps are not correct because they did it wrong. But with the new national databases, everything is tracked more easily and we're avoiding these problems. And with the new handicap, it will be even better. And because you already have the national ID, you're so much better off than we are in Denmark because we don't have that option of using the national ID. It's not legal in Denmark to use that.
So it's by default in our system now when we launch it?
Yes. Of course, as I said, you can search without the national ID, but I would always recommend to do that because we will always find the right player. And it will also say if I'm not finding a double, it will just get the data from the national ID. If it's a brand new member, it will get all the information for the address and all that from the national ID. So you don't have to enter any of that information. It's giving to you right away. So it's something I wish it wasn't so dangerous in Denmark, but apparently our national ID can be used for all kinds of stuff. So you have to be really secret about it. And here it's the total opposite. Everyone is using it for everything. So it's very different. So when we are at the subject of home clubs, if you have a membership in more than one club and you decide that you want to change your home club, then there is a function in here that we haven't set up correctly yet, but but you will have the option. Let's say you have a member that's a member here but has a home club in another club. They come to you and say, I play so much more at Reykjavik, I want to have my home club here. Maybe I want to participate in some of the team stuff, so I need to have my home club here. Then you ask this function that you cannot see because we don't have access for it. It will be a search for this member and ask his current home club to switch home clubs. And the reason we ask to switch home clubs is that they may have a financial situation in the other club. Maybe they're playing smart and want to avoid talking to them. So the other club has to, once we ask the other club, they will get a message saying Reykjavik has asked for this member to become home club of Reykjavik. Do you allow that? And then they have to go in and say, yes, we allow that, or no. And they can put in a reason. He owes us membership fees for the last 5 years. And so give them a reason why he's denied to change home club. So it will help the clubs finding, if you have any, hopefully you don't. But in Denmark, we do have a few that will shop around and just not talk to the clubs. And with changing home clubs, you can now help each other with cheaters. Do you have any clubs that has a waiting list for memberships?
Yes.
So you have the option. I don't know how you control the waiting list today, but you do have the option of having a wait. Let's say if you have 1,000 members on an Excel sheet already, you may not want to use GolfBox. But if you have 10 people on a waiting list, you may want to start using GolfBox because you can create all the members on a waiting list, and once they get into the club, you simply click on them and make them active. So it's a way to save some work. But if you already have a huge waiting list, you may not want to use GolfBox because it will take forever to get them into the system. But it is possible to use in GolfBox. And the advantage you get is you create them once they sign up for the waiting list. You can, if you have waiting list that you invoice, in Denmark we only have one club that has the oldest club in Denmark, Copenhagen Golf Club, Royal Copenhagen Golf Club. They have more than 1,000 members on a waiting list. At one point they had 5,000 because in that club you can only join when someone dies. There's no memberships. So when someone dies, one get in. They had those 5,000 people and I asked them, they really want to play here when it's their turn. So they charged them a small fee. It was nothing. It was 10 euros. to stay on the membership on the waiting list, and it fell from 5,000 to 1,000. So now they have 1,000 members still on the waiting list. Members play everywhere else around Copenhagen, and just hoping someone dies in the big club. It's a little bit bizarre, but that's how it is.
You are actually describing a current case here in Iceland.
Yeah.
Can you, in no circumstances, import an Excel list?
We may be able to. We may be able to. So, but let's talk about that after. It's not in the database in the golf system. Is it in the current golf system? The waiting list? No. So maybe we can supply you with how the Excel needs to look like, and if you can create it in that format, I think we can import it. Let me just We have 2 points here. We call them former members. We call them deleted members. A former member is the first step of being kicked out of the club or leaving the club. So I cancel my membership, and you change me from full-time to a former member. I will appear on the former member list. It's just a list of the former members. But what I can do on this list is I can very easily activate them again if they want to. He broke his ankle, so he would like to become a former member. When they become former members, we remove a lot of stuff from their profile. So they, for instance, we remove the invoice group, so we won't invoice them by accident. We remove all the other groups they're in. If they have any lockers, we will remove them from the lockers. We will remove any rights they have. If a chairman is falling out with everyone, the members, and he got voted out, we remove everything from him, so he can't go in and do anything. And on the former member list, he looks exactly like the members, except he doesn't have the groups. And we can very easily go in and say, now his ankle is fine again. We can go in and sign him up as a full-time member again. So that's the advantage of keeping them for a while on the former member list, because there you can easily activate them again. If we delete them from the former member list, they go down another step. They're still in the club. They can still be activated, but now we deleted the member number. So if you reuse your member number in this club in Denmark, Copenhagen, member number 1 died, and they sold his member number on auction, and all the money went for the juniors. And they got more than, I think, 3,000 euros for his member number that all went to the juniors, just for having member number 1-1. So it's a pretty good number. So when he's on the deleted list, he doesn't have a member number anymore. That means if I want to activate him or print his handicap list, I can do that still when he's in the deleted list, and I can then search for a new number for him, or I can just see if his old number is available still, and give him that. And once I delete him from the deleted list, he goes into the GolfBox Eternal Fairways. He's completely purged from the system now, and cannot be reactivated this way. So that also means you have to think about when you delete them from the deleted system. They should have been there a while, because they will also lose their handicap information once they get out of lose this one. And then again, that may be a little bit lie, because he's in the national database where all his handicap information will be stored. So should he come back for another club, they will get this information. Good. Further down the list, we talked about groups. Again, groups is a huge deal in GolfBox, and I will make a note about making some suggestions. Just just to, maybe I mentioned it back in March, but when we made the deal with Iceland, you get the system as it is right now. So that doesn't mean changes can't happen. We see at least the first 6 months as a year where you gain a lot of experience. You tell Anna everything you think would be great to have as improvements. For instance, the automatic change from one invoice group to another. They had that wish in Denmark as well, but when they saw how easy it was to search for the members, that no one has really, for 15 years, asked about it since. So it's just not something we've done in the system, but that doesn't mean it cannot be built. And the way we normally do it is the union, the federation will gather all your wishes, and then every fall we have a session with Anna and who's ever in the IT committee, and we discuss all the wishes in the system, and we'll together with them decide what will be built for the next season. And that's how we do it with Norway and Finland and Denmark every year. So what also happens is if something is being built for Denmark or Norway, you will get the same things. So that's how it travels across platforms. So everything that we're going to be building for Norway, and they have quite a big list of 73 wishes right now that we'll be building in the fall. Unless it's very, very, very specific, like integration to the Norwegian sports federation, then of course you won't get it. But all the other wishes that have something to do with members or tournaments and tea time booking and all that will be automatically part of your upgrades. So a lot of things will be built automatically, and a lot of things you will say, hey, this is how we used to do it. Can we have this in the system? And we'll look at it and we'll say, that's a good idea. You can do it another way, or we can build it into the system. The first 6 months is definitely where you, 8 months maybe, where you will use the system and find out how it works and send ideas of improvements to Anna. And this happens every year, not just first year. Every year, we normally say, if we have nothing to develop, then we're done as a company. So we always have stuff that we can improve. So groups, use them as much as you can, as you want. Some clubs in Denmark will have more than 50 invoice groups, and supporting them is not always fun because they only know what they all mean. But they will have different VIPs, they will have sponsors, they will have 3 types of juniors, they will have someone that can only play Monday, someone that can only play Wednesday, and so forth. So a lot of creativity can be used in these groups, and by setting up the rules for tea time booking. Prices maybe for the players. How is it the same thing in Iceland as in Denmark? When I'm a member of a club, I normally pay a yearly subscription and I can play as much as I want. And then sometimes you have a membership where you pay a little less and then you have to pay green fee to pay. You don't have those membership yet? Yeah. Don't go there. It's a mess. Good. We have a point called advanced profile. This is actually not used at the moment either. If we open this up for you, this is where you can change what the players can change in the system. Right now, because we locked a lot of the things for the national update, then these things has actually disappeared in the system. Some of them might come back. You may want to let them change a few things in the system, but don't know yet. We have a point, the last point actually, because this one doesn't work. The last point under the member is called change status. Someone calls you up in July and say you have your membership goes from January 1st to January 1st, and he calls you up in July and says, I would like to cancel my membership for next year. So instead of making a yellow note, post it, remember to change them on January 1st. We use the change status to change memberships that happens in the future. So my friend Hallgrímur has called me up and said that he would like to leave the club next year. So I'll enter a member status change for him, and I can put in the date when it happens. Some clubs in Denmark have every half year, July 1st and January 1st. Some have 3 months, some have a month, some have a year. Most have a year, actually. So we set a starting date for the beginning of the next year, because that's what most of the clubs use. They have 1 year memberships. So this guy will change from full-time to former member on the 1st of January 2020. And he's moving to Denmark. So he wants to leave. It could also be that it has nothing to do with his member status, but simply that he's changing from beginner 2019 to another group, or maybe just want to remove him from this group. When he becomes a former member, I don't have to change the invoice group, because that will automatically happen on the 1st of January. He will automatically be deleted from this group. So now the system will automatically know that on January 1st, this guy will be former member and cannot use the system anymore, and will be moved down to this list. And that happens automatically 1 second after we're drinking champagne. Actually, it may happen a little later, because there's so many that are changing the first that it takes them one at a time. So if there's 15,000 that changing the status, then it'll take a little longer. But in here you can have a full overview of all your status changes. There's records, and you can see all and take reports out how many became former members in last year. So anything, you can change the status on a member profile, but I recommend you always to use the change status, because you get the log and the records and the reports that you can take out of the system. And he called in July. Should he now call back in August and say, you know what, I didn't get my plane ticket to Denmark, so I'm not moving. Could I still stay as a member? Or you just go in and you just delete his record in the change status, and he won't be changed on January 1st after that. So now he's out of the change status system. But this one could be long, because you may have in Denmark, a club typically has 100 to 150 members that leaves, and 100 to 150 that comes in every year. So depending on how they work with the seasons, if they can leave every half year or every year, they can have quite a long list in the system. Someone knows already in March that they won't be signing up for next year. Well, then they go in and create it already in March. So use this instead of your post-it notes. It's a good way to remember it. Good. That was actually everything on the member. I have some good news for you, I think. I think today will be a lot faster than we set up in the tea time or in the schedule. So I think once we're done with lunch and all your questions, you get to play with the system, because I've been through everything that I need to get through. And then you can play as much as you want until 5 o'clock, and if you leave before that, then Anna will make a note, but you're allowed to do that. I have 2 other points to cover, so it's not like I'm done yet. Under the resources is where we're going to be spending all the time tomorrow, or most of the times. And I think I'll also cover the member part after lunch, what the players see. So I'm not quite done, but we'll be done before I think so. So right now, under the resources, most of all the setup in here has to do with tea time booking. A resource is something we can book, so I won't cover this today. I'll cover that tomorrow. But we have, under the resources, we have the courses. This is where we set up all the courses that you have in the system, your 18-hole course, your 9-hole course, your Par 3 course. And this is not something that will be converted into the system. So this will be your first task. This will be your first task you will have to do when you get access to the system. You may get access to the system before January 3rd without member data, just to create the course, just to create the tea time booking. We'll talk to Anna about that if that's, and maybe listen to you as well if you think that's a good idea to set this up so February 3rd you don't have to rush in and hurry to put in the course and hurry to put in the tea time booking because that's already ready. But we'll discuss that and do that. So a course is a name, and a course has what we call course editions. Siri, go away. A course edition is the current look of a course. It has the pars, it has the indexes, it has the course rating and slope, it has the T's, it has the length of the T's. If you want to use timings for a T, then you can put that in. And you can have multiple course editions. Normally, a course edition will change when you get a new course rating and slope and maybe indexes for the holes. But in Denmark, a lot of the clubs will keep the course open but will make wintergreens. So they will make a new course edition from now until maybe March, and they will change, maybe just have 2 T's in there and have another rating that they will put in there and use this as winter. The course is the same, but now it's just winter rules, and maybe I removed the option to do handicapping. So if I click into this course edition that runs from the 29th, which is yesterday, then I can also make a course inactive. Let's say you're completely rebuilding your course and you're making a new setup. Then you want to take this course out of action and you can make it inactive, and no one can find it for tournaments and no one can record handicaps on it. This is not something that happens very often, but it does happen sometimes. An important one here is approve for handicap adjustments, and for it to be approved for handicap adjustments, we have to assign official course rating, and I'll be talking to Anna about whether we'll be doing that already from February or if we'll be doing it from later. But I'll be talking to him about that. But if that one is activated, we'll go into the national database and get the approved ratings from the database that Anna has put in the system. This club doesn't have any approved ratings, so they can't do handicaps. That's because it's winter. I'll just make a quick note here. So on the course, whether or not it will be approved or not, you set this check mark, and if it's going to come from the national database, you find the course and assign it to the national database.
So the courses has to come through?
We'll work that out. In Denmark now, they have to come through the national database.
I was just thinking maybe on the winter you will just change the course and play, skip some holes.
Yeah, then you can remove the official rating and you cannot do handicaps. So you can do both.
But also I heard that the new handicap system now, it will be, you can have a golf course from 9 holes and upwards.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the setting up of the course.
So that has to be through the golf union.
Yeah, because it's a different rating and stuff. So, but what you're thinking about is that you can actually stop your round after 12 holes. Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the setup of the course. That's the handicap rules. It's like it's just because today, if you play a Stableford round and you stop after 12 holes, you get nothing for the last 6 holes. In the new handicap system, it will go in and give them a fictive score on on those remaining holes, or calculate a handicap from the 12 holes, depending on what I think actually you said only 9 holes. So it will not be part of your rules. Yes. Yes. So setting up a golf course, you can have the color tees that I think most are still using here, and you can create custom tees. In Denmark, it's right now I think we're about 50-50 that still uses the colors, and then they're changing to the numbers. So 59 for 5,900 meters, 64 for 6,400 meters. To get rid of, basically it's to get the men to move up the tee boxes, because the women will play from the right tees every time. The men, it's so hard to get them to move away from the yellow tee if they're not good enough to play from the yellow tees. So in one of my courses in Silkeborg, we have it and it's 64, 59, 56, 52, and 48. And it's so much more fun to play from the 56 than the 59. And we actually do that because it's 2 different courses, just changing the tee. But changing from red or from yellow to red, no, would never do that. So it works, but we have both options in there, so you can use both. We also have the option of recommending a tee to a player based on the gender and the handicaps. So you can set up a lot of deviations in here, saying females from handicap +8 to 5, they should play from the blue, and males from 0 to 5 should play from the whites. So you can set that up in the system, or you can just have one standard in the system as saying males and females play from our standard. So just to keep it simple as it is today, then that's what I would do. You can put a simple name on a hole. We use it mostly for if you have 3 9 holes, maybe you have north, west, and east, and you can call them N1, N2, N3, N4, N5. I think there can be four letters in there, and this will be printed on the scorecard. So if one day you're using the combination of north and south, it will say N1 and S1. And if you're using east and south, it will say east 1 and S1. So you can put that in there. And in Silkeborg, where I'm a member, we have 27 holes, and we change combination every 2 weeks. So having the names on there, we always know where to start, S1 or east 1 or south 1. You can put timings on the system as well. How long does it take to play a hole? And if you're using this with the scorecard module, you will get on the scorecard, I have a tee time at 9 o'clock. I'll confirm my tee time. It will say, well, 9:15 you have to play the first hole. 9:37, you have to play this, and all the way down to the last hole. You should be done by this. I would recommend you putting in the times for a 4-ball, not for a 3-ball or 2-ball, because they are faster, but for a 4-ball. And I would recommend making the total time 3.5 hours. That was just a joke. Pars for each hole and handicap for each hole, and I just put 1 to 18 here. It will look at any so you can't make a mistake. You can't put in 1 twice, so it will help you a little bit putting in the numbers. You can put in length. You don't have to put in length, but pars and handicaps has to be on a course. And of course, if you're printing out scorecards, you would put in length for the tees. So the first time you create a course, it will just look like this. And then if you have some changes, maybe you put in your winter course. And then when do you start playing golf? In May, July, or August? May 1st, you build another course edition. You can now make all the changes for the real course that are not on winter greens. And on May 1st, it will automatically switch to the new tees, to the new length, to the new course rating, slope, and everything. All this happens automatically in the system. And if you have a tournament, it will automatically use the new course as well. So back to what you asked, you can have as many courses as you want. Currently, though, there is a limitation that a course is 18 holes, because that's used everywhere in the system is 18 holes. This may change at one point if we need to, if people are starting making 12-hole courses and so forth. But right now it is 18 holes. And that also means if you only have 9 holes, you put in the information doubled. You put all the holes in twice, so you have the same information. The only thing that changes on the back 9 is the handicap indexes. It may be like you have it today, or maybe you just have 9 holes in your old system, but we have to have 18 holes at the moment. Tournaments we'll come back to on February 22nd. And I hope to see everyone here. I don't know how you run the tournaments, if it will be you that are coming, or if it's volunteers that runs tournaments or anything, but the tournament training will be somewhat similar to this in the morning, and then hands-on in the afternoon, so you can create tournaments and get very familiar with the system before I leave. And it's a right. Everyone can have this right, and if you don't have the right, you will not be able to click on the tournament button. Do not click on this button yet, because it's not working. And I will have Anna send all of you a message, an email, once it's working, and you can, if you want to take a look at it. There's nothing wrong with playing with the tournament system either. It will look at your test data members, and you can put them into the tournament as much as you want. So once you get a message that you can now use the tournament system, feel free to play around with it, but you don't have to. The last part in the member system is reports, where we have a bunch of predefined reports. These are all standard reports that you cannot change anything to. So if for some reason one of these reports is not what you're looking for, I'll just go back to the member system, because you have the option here of exporting into Excel, where you choose exactly what you want to take out of the system. Maybe you have an integration to MailChimp, and MailChimp uses first name, last name, and email. And that's all that MailChimp uses to correct. So I'll search for any member in the system. In this case, I'll just take full-time. There'll be a lot of them. And the export function here will give me an option to simply choose what would I like to take out of the system and put into an Excel file. So any report that doesn't fit your standard, you do that under the member search and the export function, and you can say, for this, I'd like to have the member number as well, just to have it in there. So you choose whatever you want and say export. And then you download it, and it just comes up as it's actually a CSV file, but that opens in Excel, and you can then do whatever you want with it. I'll just make a note here. think there's something not quite right. Yeah, I think it's just a thing they have to put in, and then it will spit them out right. But that's why we have the 2 months to find those little things. A report in the system, a predefined report, is maybe you still have a handicap list hanging by the member area, and you can make that list. You can go in and search for everyone between 100 and 100,000, and we just want to take that back to the report. And I've searched for all these members. I'd like to show them in the member order. Maybe I want to show them in last name order, because that would make more sense looking up a list. If I don't know what my member number is, I know at least, I hope I know my last name. So put it alphabetically in that order. I can create a Word document or I can create an Excel document. If it's something you want to print out and hang, I probably wouldn't do it in your club, because that's a lot of pages. But it is possible to do. Now, it is something we call a Word merge document. That means we get a template for the Word file, and then you just have to go in and merge this into the file. And it doesn't work on a Mac, on a new. I'm testing Word beta testing, so that's not a good thing to do when you're out training. So that won't work. I'll just make another note. But it will give you a list here with all the members on. You can also have, maybe you want a phone list with email, maybe you want to create some back tags, it will take out some basic information, or maybe you just simply have index cards in a box somewhere with information for all the players. Maybe you want a list of all your former members. Before you delete them, you can take out a list. Let's put them in last name as well and create an Excel. You can take out this list, and then you can go in and delete them from former members. And because it's the test system, we don't have any at the moment. I was wondering why the list was empty. Good. Another thing on the reports, and I have to admit I have no idea why it's put on the reports. It was just put there back when we made the module, but it's we may want to change the spelling for this. We call it merge documents, but it's a mailing system. I'll just change the name for this so we get it to something right. Not right. I will do that later. So it's a mailing. This is the module that will allow you to send emails out to the members. On the test system, you can do as much as you want. No emails will leave this system. They will go to our email. So you cannot make any mistakes of sending emails to anyone. The only thing you can have happen is you spam our emails. But that's okay. But none on the test system will leave the GolfBox server. It will send out emails, but to our test system. So if you want to see something and how it looks, then we can send it to you from our email. But you do a letter. It's a name. You can put in a note. This may be something that maybe it's a mail for a new member. It's something that you use often. And you can save these letters as templates, so you can reuse them. So if it's not right now, there are no templates. It could be welcome letter. And as everything we search for members, maybe we want to search for one member, maybe we want to search for the many new members that we got. Now, I'm not going to send this letter because he's going to kill me at the guy in charge of the mail today if I send out 2,400. But let's just take all these. And it's a 4-step to write the letter. And in the third step, it's not a word editor, but it can do a lot of the things that Word can do with different fonts and everything. And you can put in information. You can even, if you want to have it say, Dear Martin, welcome to the club, you can put in first name and it will automatically get this from the people that we added to the search. And there's other things you can put in here. Please confirm that this is your email address. Of course, if it's wrong, then they won't get it. And you can put in address information. Maybe you want to have them confirm that this is your right address. You can put that information in there. You can do different stuff with it. Currently, in these letters, it's not possible to upload a picture to this, but you can add a picture if it's on your web page already. So if you have a picture you want to send them from your web page or a PDF file or something from the web page, you can add that. But the picture you can add by going into your web page, right-clicking on the picture and say copy URL, and then you can put that in, and it will actually put the picture in, so it looks like it's in the mail, but it's actually getting it from your web page. One of the reasons we don't allow you to upload pictures is it takes so much server space that even a 2 megabyte file from 900 golf clubs can very easily fill out servers, and you will have to keep buying server space, and you will not feel like it, but for us it will be very expensive to do. So that's why you can add pictures, but only by adding them from a place on the internet. And once you've written your letter, if you have your letter in Word, for instance, and you want to copy it from Word, then there is a function here, paste from Word. Please use that function because it will strip out any code that Word will have that can make the letter look funny. You simply okay. So in my case, in Firefox, it won't allow us to do that. We'll just have to press Control or Command V, and it will paste it in. So that will work as well. Done writing the letter, I'll save it on the disk. And most of us, I think, in here know what a disk is. My daughter won't know that, so she's like, how do I save it? But we know still. And then I go to next. And on the last part of the letter, I can choose how do I want to send this letter. I can now save it if I'm still working on it. If I have to come back, I need some information, I need to work on this letter later. I don't do anything. I just click next and it will be saved. I can save it as a template if it's a letter I need to reuse over and over and over. But if I want to save it, I'll go say send this letter to the recipient, and I can now choose different options. I can print it. I don't think many are printing letters anymore. I think they're mailing letters just to save money. In Denmark, I think it will cost almost €2 to send a letter to a member, at least a year and a half. So they're not doing that. It's simply too expensive. So you will go down and use the one that says send email to all who has an email address and send only a message to the rest. So if there's someone in your system that doesn't have an email, they will still get the letter, but they will only get it in the message function in GolfBox. So when they log on to GolfBox and they don't have an email, they will still see the letter. And the rest will get an email with the letter that you created. You can use from the the very first thing I showed you on the club's data. You can use the email that's in the system there, or you can use this GolfBox will send out the mail, and it will look like it's coming from GolfBox, but it will say when you reply to it, it will say whatever you've chosen in here, reply to. So you will get the answers in the system. And if maybe it's a letter you're sending out from the pro or for the pro to advertise for the pro shop or something, you can put in his email address as well, and it will be in the reply to. And it will show you, in this case, there's actually only, out of the 2,410, there's only 29 players without an email. So it seems that you're using emails quite a lot. And 29 out of 2,400 is just amazing. And again, you can save. And if I click next now, it will start sending out 2,410 emails. So I won't do that, because they will have to delete it in their inbox at home. And I will pay for it when I come back. So just to show you a bit what the player will then see when he logs in, I will just go into my system. And just a whole other thing, Anna said I'll probably get a question about what browser to use in the system, and we recommend Firefox or Chrome as the main browsers. You can often use all of them. We do not recommend Internet Explorer because it's a very outdated and unsecure browser. But other than that, there shouldn't really be any restriction with browsers. If you're using Edge, that's also a limited browser until they get the new big update where they will use the same engine as Chrome, and basically Edge and Chrome will be the same when they do that. So it doesn't really matter what your preferred browser is as long as you do not use Internet Explorer. When a player logs into the system the first time, they will have a dashboard. And they will be able to see all their tee times. If the club is using our Pro Planner system, they will be able to see that. They will see any messages. They will see if you're using the club calendar. And if you're using the news, they will see that over here in the important messages. So the first thing I will see when I log in is actually in the yellow box if there's any important messages that will be circulating. I can see that in here. Right now I do not have any tea time because it's not as cold in Denmark right now, but it's raining and raining and raining and raining and raining. We just broke the record for the most wet fall since they started measuring. So all the courses are underwater. So the player will have the options to edit his profile. They can change the username. They can change the password. So it can be whatever they want it to be. They can go in here and change it. I cannot change my number right now because I have signed up for some text messages. I get a text message when my handicap change, an SMS message. But I can change my email address if that changes in the system. I can choose if I want to be anonymous as a player when booking a tee time. That means other players will just see anonymous and the handicap and what club I come from. The administrators will still see them. They're not anonymous to the administrators. And if you use our favorite function where you can join up with your friends and for easier booking, you will not be anonymous for your friends or your favorites either. Then there's a place in here, a place that will probably grow a lot because it's a lot about GDPR and where you want to receive emails from. So this area will probably change a lot over the next year. But they can choose to receive emails from GolfBox. And it's important that it says it's from GolfBox because it's the emails that automatically is being sent out when booking a tee time. And in order for them not to be able to opt out of emails from the golf club, we haven't given them that option yet. It's something we probably legally have to do at some point, but right now, once you put in an email address, you're giving the email address to the club and they can use it to contact you. So right now we are actually getting, it's not illegal to do it this way, but it's on the edgy side of things. there's a very few members who do not want to have information from the golf club. Of course, if you have a golf club that are selling advertising from sponsors or something and sending out 10 emails for each club, some of them might be tired of that and do not want to receive that. But in generally, I don't think we have 50 players out of 175,000 in Denmark that has said they don't want emails from the golf club. So we've never really been asked to build it into the system that they can opt out of that. Regarding your question, can they opt out of it? So it's not a big issue as well. The in-message system where we don't send message out, we can actually send out a message that you will not see the message, but you will receive an email saying there's a message inside GolfBox. Go in and look for it. You can click that off and saying if the club uses this and they will get a message, I'll get an email saying someone sent me a message in the system. I can go into the tea time booking, and in the tea time booking, I will always go into my own club if it has a tea time booking set up. In this window, I can select all the courses that my club has, and in Silkeborg we're pretty lucky. We have 54 holes on 2 locations, and we have some indoor training facilities that we can book as well. So I can book our 18-hole course in Silkeborg. I can book it in our other location, and in the other location we also have a 9-hole course. In Silkeborg we also have a 9-hole course, but they're not using it at the moment apparently. Oh, it's there. And these are just, it could be a TrackMan facility, but these are just mats on the indoor facility that I can actually book to make sure that I can go and practice for 20 minutes. I can see information when I'm logged in to the website. I can see who's out playing, and if I want to book a tee time tomorrow, I can see so who's on the tee time. I can only do this when I'm logged into the system. So if you have any integration and have the tee time booking on your web page, you'll see the dots, but you will not see any name information. So publicly, no information. When you're logged in, you can see it. On every course. Every course. So this is also one of the things that has made GolfBox really strong for the clubs, and one of the reasons that we have all the golf clubs in Denmark. And in Denmark we have to sell it individually. We do not have a federation agreement. So we've been to every golf club in Denmark and said, you want to buy this. So it's a portal for all the tee times in GolfBox. It's one player, one-stop shop. I can play wherever I want to and book a tee time in Denmark.
This is not new to us, actually. We've had this in Iceland for many years, you know that. But in Denmark, that's good. But if I have marked myself as being anonymous,
yes.
If you see it?
Me? No. It will say, instead of the name, it will say anonymous.
Okay. But if you mention something about friends?
But my favorites, when I sign up for favorites, I allow them to see my name. So you can only be anonymous for your non.
Would I be able to register me as my husband and my children?
Yes. So if I want to book a tee time, I click on it and I will be automatically added to the tee time. I can add my favorites. This is my favorite list. I can add whoever I have on here. And I can also, if they're not my favorites, I can search for them by name or by number. And in the member number search, we will add the function to search for the national ID, but only if you add all 10 digits. So not a partial search on birthday, for instance. You can search partially on name. So if I want to add he's a colleague of mine, and I want to add him. It will search the whole country for Peter Frost, and it will then give me the hits I get, and I can, if I had anyone in my own club, it will show them first, and then it will show the other clubs in the country. So the one I'm looking for, I know is the one playing in this golf club, and I can then find him. You can, when you book a tee time, you can also actually just send a message to the players you're booking to. If they have an email in the system and they said they would like to receive emails from GolfBox, then you can say, let's meet at 11 for warm-up. They will get this message in the confirmation mail that I booked the tee time. And an option, you can invite friends on email to this time. Let's say I'm lonely, I don't have anyone besides me on the tee time, and I would like to invite some. There's an option when I approve the tee time now, I can send an email to my friends on the favorite list, or I can post it. Didn't want to do it right now, but I can post it directly onto Facebook, my Facebook account, that I will then have to, if it's the first time, I'll have to approve it, and it will give you, as my Facebook friend, it will give you a link into GolfBox to this time. So I can click on this link and be added to the tee time as soon as I log into the system. The players can choose a club in Denmark, or they can go down to the international booking and choose the countries in primarily Scandinavia and the Baltic countries. And Iceland will, for me, be added when we go live to this list as countries, and vice versa for Norway and so forth. They will be able to book directly here. What it really does is if, for instance, if we go to Sweden does not use GolfBox. They use another system, but it will create a user in their system that is speaking together with the GolfBox system, and you will be able to book it that way. You have the options to see what tee times you have. If you signed up for some tournaments, you can see that. You can add favorites to the system, and you find them by searching for them, and they will then get an email and a message in the system. They have to approve that you add them. If you do not want them, if you do not want to be favorites with this guy, you simply say do not approve, and they're deleted from the list. But if you approve to be friends with favorites with these players, you will be on both your lists. So it's like a Facebook thing. If you search for a friend on Facebook and you say yes, you're friends with each other, and it's the same thing here. And it's mainly used for quick booking of the tee times. And when you enter a score, if you played with one of these guys, you use them as a marker if you played with them. But one of the features I like the best is because these are actually some of the guys I play golf with, and I prefer to play golf with them. I can play with anyone, so if there's an available tee time and none of my friends can play, I would go play. But I can go in and see all my friends' tee times. And now, because of winter, no one plays golf in Denmark right now. But it will list all my friends or favorites that has a tee time where there's a spot available. If they're booked 4 people on the flight, it will not show them because it's not relevant for me to see that they have a tee time that's booked. But if there are 2 out playing, I can join that tee time simply by looking on this list and book and click on their time.
One question: can you have then favorites between countries also?
I don't think so. I have to. I don't think so. I think it's specific. You know what? I'll everything I can answer, I'll write down, and I'll give Anna the answer, and he can tell you.
About the booking options, many of the clubs are running a winter time when they're closed, are running a simulation of the golf. Is it possibility there to, make a booking in the simulation, like the training?
Yeah, in a simulator.
Yeah.
Yes.
Many of the clubs are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
They are running separately, pre-booked
Yes. See if I can remember a club that has a simulator. The only in the GolfBox here, a simulator will have to be booked either half an hour or an hour, not 4 hours. But then they can book 4 hours.
That's
Okay. Yeah, but then it's a resource, so you just create a resource that's a simulator.
okay.
But we'll go through that tomorrow. A player can now this lessons and group lessons. If the club is not working with the Pro Planner system, then it will just say it will not be as obvious as it is here. But our pros are using our Pro Planner system, and I will be talking to the Icelandic Pro PGAs next week in Portugal. So we may or may not find a solution to use Pro Planner in Iceland as well. But I can go directly into my pros schedule and book if they have anything available if I want to do that. So I can choose the pro, or I can just go in and see if they have any group lessons. But I can go directly into my head pro and see if he's, I think he's on holiday, so I don't think he has anything available. But if he did, I would be able to see it. Yeah, he's, it's winter, so that now they won't work until maybe in March. They're lucky. The scoring system is we just did a a sample of what do the players use to report scores in Denmark, and I thought 75% were using the app, and maybe 15%, 20% were using the web. I was very wrong. It's 40% that uses 30% that uses the app, 40% that uses the web, and then the rest is actually still done by the clubs, where they have someone sitting and register scorecards for the players. I was really surprised at the last number. That was so high when they have all the options of telling them, do this electronically. We do not want to do this. We do not. In my club, they have a guy who's been doing it for 20 years, and he just loves getting into the club and picking up those, so they let him do it still. I think he has his 10 friends that leaves the scorecard in there for him. But some clubs will actually use their staff to do this once a week. So if you don't do it electronically, you may not get your handicap registered until a week later. In my world, it's completely crazy that they don't force them to do it electronically. But I think with the new World Handicap System, everyone will be forced to do it, and preferably on the day, because of the new calculation that will happen every night at midnight. So if you haven't handed in your score is not part of this calculation. I do not have a picture of how the new handicap system will look, the calculation, but it will be the first thing they see on this page is what's your current handicap, what's the scores used for calculating this handicap, and I think we'll also make some graphical that will show you, and there's this handicap for the day for each score. Because you actually get, if you play really bad, you see, if your handicap is 5, you can play around where your daily handicap is 12 or 17. We've all been there. And if you play really good, maybe it's 2. And we'll show this in a very nice way for the players, so they can always go in and see everything. So they can. We should be able to get most of the handicap information. We will not be able to get the hole-by-hole information for the scores, but we will get the Stableford scores and what courses, name of the course, and what the course rating and slope were. But because it's different systems, we will not be able to get hole-by-hole information for the imported scores. World Handicap System just uses Stableford, so for that it will not be a problem. When a player reports a score in here, they will go into the report score, and it will give them the course, and in this place it will say that this course is actually not open because I'm on the live system and they shut down our Skilaboð course for handicapping purposes because we play to winter tees, to winter greens with a mat and everything, so you don't play by the handicap rules. So I will not be able to do this. But I think maybe this one. No, they shut everything down due to the rain. Just pretend this one is not up there. They will choose the date they played, and preferably it should be the same date. If they played in a tournament another place somewhere outside GolfBox, they can also enter this. Otherwise, they should never do that because all scores from the tournament should be sent in through the system. So if I play a tournament in another club, I don't have to go in and do that. Hopefully the club, if it's a handicap counting tournament, will just send in the scores after the tournament is over. But I will go in and say it's a private round, and then it's an EDS round. I think it's still called EDS next year, but I'm not sure. Extra day score. And I don't know if that term is going out. Then you can when the players, the union or the federation actually decides what are the rules for handicapping. Do I need to have a marker on when I report a score? And most federations, if not all, say, yeah, there has to be a marker. Somehow there has to be a marker. So I can search for the markers, and if we played a tee time together, I will actually have a third option here that's not shown. It will show the 3 players. If we were 4-ball, it will show the 3 players in a 4-ball. I can just choose one of them as my marker if one of them were my markers. And in the case of I'm playing with a foreigner that's not in GolfBox, I can say the member is not found in GolfBox. And if I do this, there's no one to approve my score. So this score will actually go into the club for the clubs to approve it. So in these cases, the club has to have some policy. What do they have to hand in the scores, or do we just believe them? That's the only thing I think in Denmark. They still hand in the scores when they can't find, when they're playing with an American or something like that. And then also on the federation level, they can decide whether they have to enter all enter scores. And Denmark, for all courses, all rounds played in a Danish course, they will have to enter hole by hole, and the system will then do the calculation for Stableford, which is in next year may or may not be applicable at all. Of course, it's nice to know, but it doesn't really tell you the handicap. Today, if I save this, and it was a handicap-approved course, I will get my new handicap instantly. Next year, that will change, and I will not get my handicap until midnight. But that's just, what's it called? IT. So another thing that the players can do, if you play with me, and you play with me, and I'm your marker, you're actually entering the scorecard, and I'm your marker. Siri, go away, Siri. Then you hand in the scores, and I will get a message and a mail that there's a score for approval, and I will be able to go in and see what do I have waiting. Do I have a scorecard waiting for my approval, or have I sent a scorecard off for someone else's approval? So this can all be done in here. It can also be done on the app, and I'll show you that in a little bit. One good thing about the app is it can be approved just after the round by simply the player. My marker can just enter his login details, and then both scores will be sent off, and they will both be approved because we did it all on the phone. So obviously, next year, with the new World Handicap System, everyone should just use, whether they do it during the round or after the round doesn't really matter. It's just the easiest way to do it, in my opinion. But of course, there are some people that don't want to do it until they come home and they sit at night and they go through the scores and then they go in and do it. But hopefully with the new handicap system that will change.
So if you have an app, can you use it just
Yes. I'll show you the app as well. And what's the other app? Golfer. Yeah, and we're working with Golfer right now to implement that as well. So you'll be able to use the Golfer Ingenium app as well. So whether it's the GolfBox app or the other app is, I guess the advantage with the GolfBox app is it has the tee time built in as well. But I'll show you that in a minute. The players can also see the messages. They can actually also write messages if they want to. I don't really have any idea if any players are using the message system, but they can find their friend and ask them, do you want to play on Tuesday? But mostly they will get emails about tee time booking if they signed up for a tournament and paid, like this is a payment because I paid for a green fee, so I'll get the receipt as a message. This is a message I'll get because I booked the tee time, and this is actually the message I put in. This will also be in the email that is being sent out to the system. The players can see what's in the club calendar. Now my club is not using it. They're not very informative about anything that goes on. They don't even have one on the website. Club news, they can go in, and if a club is adding the groups called green fee to their news, they will also appear if I wanted to look at another club and they have used some news with the group's green fee in them. I would be able to see what news they were having, but not a lot of clubs is using that. This one will probably go away. I'm also able to go in and see all the tournaments for my club. I can see the schedule. Right now we have all these current events going on. It looks like a lot of seniors are out playing during winter because they would like to walk around on the golf course for some reason with the rain boots on. You can see all the schedule, everything, and if there's something that's open for online sign up, it will show that as well. So all these tournaments in December I can enter online, and if I fit into the description of the tournament and I fit into all the criteria that's been set up for this, I will be able to enter this tournament from right here. So this one, they will actually, there's a lunch for 125 kroners. I'm just going to see if they actually set up payments for this one. They hadn't, but the club, for club tournaments, they're actually using payments in the system. So if I sign up for a club tournament, I would be told to pay right away through, and in your case, it would then be through Borgen, if you have that integration. So since this is one I'm not going to be at, I probably shouldn't sign up for it. I can also find tournaments in other clubs around Denmark. So in a second. So we embedded also a search engine for all the other clubs. I can search for, if I know I want to play at a certain club, I can search for the club, and it will start searching for the different. I can search for a specific tournament if I know the date, or if I just want to see what tournaments do we have that are open tournaments on a certain date. I can go in and search everything. I can choose whether they have to have online registration, and if it's only open tournaments I want to see, whether it's an individual, partner, or a team competition. So I've got a lot of different options as a player to find tournament in other clubs that I want to participate in. And then I can see my old tournaments as well in here. Yeah. Right now we have a major development going on where we're actually rebuilding the whole player platform. So it will be more dynamic web page, what's called mobile friendly. Currently this page is not mobile at all, but we're building a brand new page for this, so it will probably be something about the Icelandic players has just gotten used to this, and then we'll launch the new site, hopefully sometimes later in the year. But where it doesn't matter where you're on the computer or on the phone, it's the same thing you see everywhere. But because this page is not mobile friendly, is why we have the app. And the app doesn't do everything we can do in here, but it does most of the things in there. So I'll just see if I can connect so you can see it.
Is there any clubs that are using this tea time booking system for booking cards or
Yes.
trophies?
Yes, all kinds of stuff. A lot of the clubs are also, the clubs that has the Pro Planner system are also using that, because you can set up a calendar for instance, a card, but you can book it for 4 hours instead of just 4 times 1 hour in the Pro Planner system. In the GolfBox tea times, you have to book it 4 hours, one at a time. So, but people are using both. So on the app, I get kind of the same information on here. I get the tea time booking at top, and I go in, and I can actually have favorites on my tea time booking, the places I play the most. I can go in and find the course. I'll find the date, and it will give me an overview of the date and if there's anyone playing on there. I can go in and see who's on the tea time if I want to. And again, if they're anonymous, I can go in and it will just say anonymous instead of the name. It will show you the handicap as well. So I can go in and join any tea time that I want to here, just by clicking on it. And actually, this one comes up and saying that I cannot book this because I have a tea time in Silkeborg at the same within. So I'm not because it's not the same place. I'm not able to make it to this tea time. So I cannot be added to this tea time. So I'll just go back and I didn't know I had a tea time. Oh yeah, you're right. I had a tea time. I'll just delete that. Yeah. So now I don't have trouble tomorrow when I don't show up. The two top options are the ones I use all the time in the system. I rarely go into the web page, and that's me as a golfer. It has nothing to do with me working at GolfBox. But I book all tea times on the app, and I use my phone on the course for a GPS. So I always have my phone. So I'm also always the one doing the scores for our group, and I always use GolfBox for that. I'll just find the course that I'm playing at. See if they have any courses that are available, and I can add my friends same way as we did in the other tea time booking. I can add them on there and click next. I'll get a scorecard, and then it asks me, do you want to play EDS, the extra day score? And if he doesn't want to play EDS, it doesn't really take into account if they're allowed or not to play EDS. So I always do this, and when I send a score in, if like my Christian, he's my boss and he has handicap 0, so he's not really allowed to play EDS. So the system will then receive his score and just send a message back. His handicap is too low according to the national rules to play EDS, so it's just registered as a private round. So the system will do that behind the scenes. But with the new world handicap system, we want as many scores in, so they will be able to do that. There's even a basic statistics in the program. It's very basic, but you can mark how many pots you had and stuff like that. And you can do that for all of them if you want to. And then you get the scorecard, and if you do it when you're playing, when you walk off the green towards the next one, you just click on the hole. It will give you your net par. So it will always give you, if you have a stroke, it will give you a bogey, and you can then plus minus what the score was, save it. If you can mark your statistics, you can do that. Save it, and it will go to the next player, save it, and it will go to the next player. and we've done this all. So I always use this during the round, and if they want to know how many points they have, they ask me. So if they're not noting it on their own sheet, they might note the score because there has to be a marker, but they may not put in the Stableford points. So after 9 holes, they may ask me, what's the score? And I always know that. So when the round is done, we can then easily send the scores in for handicap adjustments. I can choose to send it in right away. See, this is how golf is played. It doesn't take long. It doesn't have to take long. Now, and I haven't seen the golfer app, so I don't know anything about how that works.
Can you do this in tournaments also?
Yes, but not through the app, through another function. So once I played the 18 holes, it will come out, do you want to send the scores to GolfBox now? And if I say OK to that, it will ask me for a marker. And so who should be my marker, is it asking for right now? And then I can choose whether it's Christian or the other guy. And they will have to approve my score. But I'm a marker for both of the other 2 guys. So if I say send scores, I have to have one of them to log in with the login to sign the scorecard, basically. And if I say approve later, they will get a message in GolfBox to approve the score, either on the phone or in GolfBox here. So since I actually think if I send it in now, it will adjust our scores, I'm not going to do that.
Will you also get it in text message?
In
text message?
if
If you mark that and do not do emails?
I don't think we have a text message for marker. We just have emails. Yeah. They can also go in and see the tournaments in the app. They can go into their own club. They do not quite have the same search functions to search other clubs in the app, but they can search somewhere. I'm not quite sure what this does. I'm not going to look too much into it, but they may be able to go in and see the other clubs' tournaments as well. But I can sign up for everything on the app, like I could on the portal, web portal. So I can go in here and sign up. And if there's payment involved, it will ask me to enter my credit card information when I sign up, and then I'll be signed up for the tournament. We also integrated the lesson booking software, so I can go directly into the Pro Planner from here to say, do I want to do the lessons or not? And I can see my messages. And if there's any approved message, anything I need to approve in here, there's a link I can click on to approve it. And then we have the basic statistics in there, and it is really basic, but you can see a little bit of information in there. Now, once we're done with the big player project to rewrite everything, this app at one time will be what we call a shell app. So it will simply implement what we see on the players on the phone. It will implement that into the app, and you will not notice that as a player. You'll just get a new interface that looks exactly what you have if you use a computer. So once that has been done in a few months, 6-9 months or whatever, it's a huge project, then the app will change as well. Anything in here? No, not much. And they use the same information, of course, to log into the app as they do to log into the web. That's what the player can do. Should we do questions?
Is this app in the App Store?
No, it will be when we go live. It will be in the App Store, but right now it's only on our test system. And we will have to translate it into Icelandic as well. Everyone is tired now. Very tired.
What is the goal? 5 minutes. Pro plan.
The Pro Planner is our lesson booking software for the pros. So that's also actually a shell app. So it's an app where you just have the website. The Pro Planner is built mobile friendly. But some people wanted an app and not just a web page. So we built a shell app where you just see the web page in the app. It does give some advantages because you cannot get push messages from a web page. It has to be an app before you can get push messages from a web page. So it will give us some advantages. And the same thing with this app. Even though it will become a shell app, you will be able to get push messages from it once it's been upgraded.